Greetings and salutations. This is Rick Koppel coming at you from Denver, Colorado with another episode of Not a Linux Guru Guy channel. Today we're going to take a look at the third in our series of new Linux users reviews for Linux distros. Basically, the concept is I'm looking at it from somebody coming new to Linux from Windows or Apple. They want, of course, graphical user interface, because that's what they're used to coming out from Windows or Apple. And so we're going to look at that aspect of it, try to do everything as much as possible. The more you have to go to terminal, the more downgraded it gets. Also, we have several options we looked at last time as to what constitutes. We're going to be grading them on several factors. Website navigation, how easy it is to navigate the website, download ISO, and ease of installation, how easy it is to install it. Guided tour, however they have a guided tour, welcome tour, whatever you want to call it. Installed programs out of the box, what programs you have installed. They have web browser, email client, word processor, music player, media players, things like that. They have all that, question mark. And also program availability, how easy it is to get and install programs on the computer. And how easy it is to set up the printer. And how easy it is to set up your keyboard shortcuts that you use. Themed wallpapers. And updating and ease of menu activating programs. We're going to look into all those features in the system and grade them based on those criteria. So let's get started on the other side of the intro. Yay! Now you're looking at the MX Linux website, which looks nice to begin with. Tells you what you got here. You got a XFCE desktop you can download, KDE desktop you can download, and Fluxbox desktop you can download. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Fluxbox is more of a window manager. That would be good for a new user to use probably. KDE or XFCE would probably be the two you want to go with there. Since XFCE is listed first, I'm going to assume that's their flagship product. We're going to download that one. So, yeah, you go down here, download. Now, the website kind of looks a little outdated to me. It's a little boxy, whatever you want to call it. But, yeah, it gives instructions on the current release, how to choose. So there's obviously on the same ISO they have XSpace and Fluxbox, and the KDE is a separate download. And I was wondering where you go right here is where you go to the thing in direct repos, mirrors, or torrents. One of those three you can download. Most of you probably going to do direct repos. Some of you know something about torrents and stuff. You can use that process there. Or you can go to a mirror if you want to find one. Hopefully it's closer, because this is German distro basically. So it's in Germany, based on German. That's why I download it through the direct repos. Might take a little while longer than your average download, or it may go fast. Depends on your internet speed. But here's what I want you to look at here. You go to the direct repos. You're going to get this thing here. Now you can just go here and download the latest version, which I believe will take you to the ISO that's down here. This ISO here. You can tell by how many people downloaded. 3,651 people downloaded this ISO. But yeah, looking at this, if it wasn't for that up here, I give it points off for being a little cryptic and hard to figure out where to get it. So you can just click on this and get that, but you'll get the XFCE or Fluxbox version, whichever one you want. If you want the KDE version, like you want a KDE for desktop, you have to go down here a little ways. And here's KDE. And you gotta go to the right ISO though for you. And that is this one right here. The one you want to click on to download that. One I downloaded was this one right up here. It's ISO. And so that's what I installed. I'm getting ready to install on my machine here. See what do you like it, how you like it. Alrighty? Sounds good. Let's go over to my GNOME boxes. And we'll look at that real quick. Okay. Set this GNOME box up to 4 gigabytes of memory, 25.1 gigabytes of hard disk space. So we'll go create. And boom, there he is. Nice looking in it, yeah. Looks pretty nice. Now this is going to boot up into a live CD, live USB version of it. You can go ahead and click on it. VirtualBox video, boot from hard disk memory test switch, go bootloader. And this looks pretty snazzy when it starts out. And it starts to look a little more old, I guess you could say, like it's showing its age a bit. And when I was first installing this, I thought, I'm not sure why anybody would want to install this. But that's nice. That's nice. It's nice. It's not bad. Still looks a little old and outdated to me. Yeah. Yes, and okay, next step. Of course, this is a VirtualBox, so it'll all make next up. Welcome screen you'll get. We'll take a look at that when you get ready to kick in and do it. There's an installer. We're going to go here now. Now here's where I take a point or two off for because new user probably going to know what this is. Model PC105 layout US. That's talking about your keyboard. You change your keyboard setting here, but I don't know if most people know what that is. Okay, so it does have US English, and yeah, you can change it there if you wanted to. That's what 105 means. It's 105 key keyboard PC. That's what that means. But you know, when you first look at that, you go, "What? I don't know what that is." So you'd wonder what that even is talking about there. And it just gives you a hint, but yeah. So the default it probably will go. I don't know how it is in other languages, whether it's more complicated to get a keyboard from another place or not. Anyway, it's kind of an archaic way of putting in model layout for your keyboard. Unless you know what you're looking at, you don't know what it is. The new Windows. Somebody coming from Windows wouldn't know what that means. Okay, so here we got the partitioning section. Now, I don't know, since I'm not putting it on a regular hard disk, I'm trying to remember what happened because I put it on my other computer over here, and I think it gave you an option to install alongside of the distro, which you already had on your computer. So anyway, if you wanted to rearrange your disk partitions, and you run the partition tool yourself, or you can just auto install using the entire disk. Boop. Sucks the whole disk right in there. Yeah. So we're going to do this since we don't have anything on there, and not even going to encrypt it or use a leave free space for anything else or nothing. I'm going to go next. Go and format entire disk for my mixer. Yes. Yeah, it's doing this now. I guess the advantage of doing this is that you can go next, and while you're doing all this stuff, it's busy installing right away. That's kind of nice. So your computer name, MX, that's good enough. That's good enough for what we do. So that's fine for me. So if you want to set up Samba for networking, work groups. Next. Do you localize American English, United States? Yep, check. Time zone? No, I don't live in New York. New York City. Get a rope, as they said in Texas. Let's see. I'll find Denver. Denver. Yeah, there. Denver. Okay, see, that's what I mean by archaic. It has nice maps and graphics and stuff like that. It makes it a little easier in some ways. Here you can select whether you want it in military time or you want it in AM PM time. And these advanced service settings that is. You tell what services you want it to start up upon logging into your system or not. I'm just going to leave that default, whatever it is. I'm going to assume it's okie dokie. Alrighty. And I guess that's it on this page. And next. Now we get our usernames. I think I did that one right. Yeah. Root password. Root is for the person who make them same. I tend to like to put my root passwords different. But in this case, I'm just going to make them same. And auto login, save live desktop changes. Yeah, that's all fine. Alrighty. So we're going to boot in. Okay, now it's still copying new files to system. You can see up here it's at 14% so far. And when it's done, I guess it'll kick on over here. So anyway, we'll come back to this when we're done, when it's finished, and when we're set up in a new system. Here we are on MX Linux's desktop. Our installed system we installed, this installation went smoothly and no problems there. Had a little bit of problem getting this boxes to work correctly, but I finally got it cooking and up and running. So here we are with MX Linux. Out of the box, what it looks like. It looks nice, but it looks a little dated, I guess you could say. But otherwise, it looks pretty good. And yeah, the icon thing, out of the box, it comes with this bar on the side, which you can put it down wherever you want. You know, but this is what it looks like out of the box. This is what we're looking at is out of the box stuff. Yeah, so you probably want to change that if you don't like it there. Here's your updates buttons over here. We have 168 new updates available. I'm going to take time to do that now, but you want to look at it and see what it does exactly. Click on it. And you can tell it upgrade. You can tell it to reload. You want to get another reloaded. Yeah. And you can select here if you want to make it automatic answer yes to all prompts during the upgrade. Automatic close terminal window when the upgrade is complete. What this does, it'll pop up in a terminal window that'll show everything that happens. Then so you don't have to do anything in terminal specifically, but it runs so you can see what's happening. So yeah, so if you were installing this on a system, I'd do this pretty quick after I got it up and running, like now. But I'm not going to mess with it now since it's just going to be a system we look at and then throw away basically after we get this done. So that's that. Yeah, the installation went well. It has a guided tour, which is up here, and it's what you'll be greeted with when you first log into your new distro, MX Linux. You have this now. You have facts, user's manual, wiki, tools. Haven't looked at tools yet. Let's see what's in there. Okay. Bash config. I guess that's set up your bash files. So how you want it, Conky. Saw the little clock over there on the right side. That's Conky basically using that. Yeah, select sounds. You can say your sounds there. Tweak. System locales. You know, like if you need to change it because you move or something. And system sounds, date time. NVIDIA driver installer. If you need to install the NVIDIA driver, if you didn't answer the correct question when you install the thing, you answer now. So on and so forth, yeah. So you can go through all these lists and get how you want it to set up and work with it. So that's convenient. A lot of tools, stuff like that you use. And we have boot repair, users manager, menu editor, boot options, chroot rescue scan, cleanup, snapshot, live USB maker. Probably won't need that. So then you got forums, videos, contribute, codecs, popular apps. That's where you can tweak your panel. Like you want your panel to go down here, you can click there and it'll take it. Give you the option where to put it. Bottom, right, up, down, sideways, diagonally across the screen. No, we can't do that. That'd be crazy. But anyway, so we'll get a lot of this now. It's not as nice as Linux Mint's welcome screen. But it's not bad. It's okay. Standard. Alright, so why is this good for new users? Linux users. We'll find out hopefully. Why it's number one downloaded distro on distro watch. Okay, so now when you look at install programs out of the box, what does it have on it? Okay. Look here, we'll see in the internet section. We do have Firefox web browser and Thunderbird email, so those are good options. Yeah, if you want to install or change anything on here, you can. Those are options there, and you got email client in your web browser. You got in games, you got four games there you can play. You get bored. It's got Geany, which is your text editor basically, and multimedia. It's got Clementine, which plays music. It's got VLC media player, which is a good player. I personally like celluloid better, but in case rock, VLC is pretty good too. And you got your everything else here. You got several other options here you can play with. Yeah, so that's good. And so that checks off all but file manager. Now, what the file manager that comes with standard with this is Thundar, which should be in the tools thing, I would think. If you need to look up things, you just find there's a word processor. LibreOffice got the whole LibreOffice set. Oh, it's got Folate. I saw a video on that by want to say it was Linux Tech or one of those guys. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, it looked nice. No, it wasn't. It was by a strange person I never heard of before. I don't know who did that one. And it's got settings. Yeah, several settings about me, figure, profile image, and contacts, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, several options there if you go through. Screen settings, Bluetooth adapter, Bluetooth manager, brightness, history, so on, so forth. And system. Now the Thunder Manager you're talking about, you can get to it real easy right here. Below my filing cabinets, file manager. And it's parity standard, but it works, and it's configurable, and you can set it up however you want to. Just go up here to edit, down to preferences. You get all sorts of things. Like one of the things that it has set up on here. Hello. One thing that's up on here is that it sorts files. Oh, you have to go to behavior to look at that. Single click to activate items. I don't care for that too much. I'd rather have a double click. So I click that. Double click to activate items. And there you go. So you got behavior, you got advanced stuff over here. You got your side pane. What's inside pane? And your display, which here's where you can set your, whether you want to do the last active view, be the view for any folders, or whether you want it to be compact list or icon views. Standard, I always like detailed list view myself personally. That's why I put it on if I was you. If I was me, I am, so there. So yeah, it's pretty standard. It's a nice file manager. So that's what we're looking at there, is Conky. So it looks pretty nice. It looks like you can work in it pretty easy right out of the box. So what about program availability, you asked? Well, we're getting that. Actually, this has a very good program installer, I think. And I'll show it to you real quick. MX Package Installer is what it's called. Now they also have Synaptic Package Manager, which is also your general generic Debian package installer. Now I forgot to mention that this is based on Debian and Anti-X and some other system that people have put into it. So now this is one of those you got to pay the password for, not if you set it. So if you set a different password for, which I didn't in this case, but if I did, I'd have to use that password, not the one I used for mine. But anyway, normally I would. Okay, now this is really interesting. I want to show you something here. It's interesting because I've never seen this on any other distro that I've been on. Because you know, Linux has a situation where it doesn't, Adobe is kind of abandoned Linux. Well, with Adobe Reader 9, version 9, that's the last version of Adobe Reader that you can use. However, it's usually a pain to install it on the system because it installs, and there's usually a couple of dependencies it doesn't pick up, things like that. So you have to know what to go install it. You have to do web searches and that kind of thing to find out what additional things you need to install. And so it's kind of a pain. You can't just install it out of repos like you normally do with most of the things. So, but I believe it's Office. You can actually install Adobe Reader on your machine straight from here. I did it on my other computer I installed this on, and it worked perfectly. Yeah, I installed a lot of stuff, but Probably is overkill, but it works. It's cool. You can install Libre. There's all sorts of GNU cache, generic. Anything that's already installed is grayed out, like LibreOffice right here. You can't really read it on here very well, but LibreOffice, click, it's already installed. Backports version. This has backports installed out of the box on it too. And PDF editor, Ocular, so on and so forth. And one of the things I really like about this is that you search for something like Adobe Reader, and you get this brings up the things you're looking for pretty quick. And I'll show you here in a minute why that is. But the current thing is if you don't find it in the popular application, you go to Stable Repos. And you can tell once it downloads back there. Yeah, the Flash plugins, but no Adobe Reader and Stable Repos. It makes test repos. Go to that. Yeah. And nothing there. Debian backports. And nothing there. Flatpak. This takes a while to process. Now Flatpaks has got works out of the box here. And it takes a while for it to download all the repo stuff that it connects up with. So we'll go on while we wait for that to happen. You got console output over here, and so yeah, with the Flatpaks, I don't know if they have an Adobe Reader version and Flatpaks version, but they do. That'd be cool. I hadn't really looked into that before. Yeah, you can just go down the list of all these things, see which one works best for you. There you are. Flash Player projector. No Adobe Reader, just Flash Player. So yeah, you can but if you look for a particular application, you check popular applications, stable repos, MX testing, repos, Debian backports, Flatpaks, to find out what's available where. Just go down the list, it stays there. So, but a popular application apparently only place you can get Adobe Reader here. Yeah, I was surprised to see that Adobe Reader there. Just do that, click install. Kind of like this application. If you have a libraries and developers out of the box, it comes so it doesn't show you. So when you do a search, unlike Synaptic Package Manager, you get all the libraries listed out there, and you have to filter through and scan through, skip over whatever, and you hope that it's not, you don't learn what you're looking for isn't in there. So yeah, so I did like Tux, and yeah, Tux Paint, and Mario style platform game with Tux, Mario Kart style racing, Super Tux Kart. Of course, you find those stable repos. You have free Tux, you got all this Tux stuff. See, there's no, well, here it is. Add library and developer packages. You can click that, you can see all those libraries in there for all this stuff. All this. You can also click this if you want to install recommended packages as well as just dependencies and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like this version of installation. I probably use this more than I do my I tend to use just a terminal with the app to do searches and things like this and do it that way, but I might use this if I have this installed, which I do have installed on my computer over here. So we'll find out. Yeah, but I have also the scripts I use to install a bunch of programs all at once that I use frequently. So yeah, it's pretty cool installer actually. So, and I also noticed it's got GDebian installed on it. So you can install pretty much anything you want on here, Flatpaks. Yeah, you can use GDebi to install all the packages that, like the deb files you download for your printer and stuff, things like that. So this is going to be probably the first one I think that gets to perfect 10 on program availability. Because you can install pretty much anything you want on here, it looks like. You can install Adobe Acrobat Reader on here out of the box. You can install pretty much anything that is available on Debian ports and otherwise, which is a whole lot on Debian. But it's got the back ports and all that kind of stuff, so you can pretty much find whatever you're looking for in there, pretty much. So, and what you can download and install that way as well. So that's cool. So, let's see what we have next. How easy to set printer. Oh, wow. Let's see if this happens the same way it happened on my computer over here. Let's see, printer. Now, if you don't know what you're looking for, like where to find what you're looking for, you put in printer settings. Cool. Now, no, I think it must be something to do with VirtualBox. Don't automatically, because I connected on my computer when I installed it over on the computer. It found it right away. Just so I saw it and pulled it in, just like Linux Mint usually does. But then the VirtualBox came out, so I should put 10 on both of them now for that printer thing. I think I deducted about a 2 points for printer. So we weren't able to install the printer. It should have installed like I did on my computer, my physical computer, so I assume it's a virtual machine issue. It wasn't able to install it without having to go get cups and filters and things like that and put those in and get a complicated process. Basically, if I was grading this based on that, it failed to put in. I would lose about 10 points there. But being that I did it when I installed on my computer over there perfectly and it came up, I thought I was going to give this a 10 for sure. And this also puts in question Linux Mint's score that I gave it on this as well. We have to install these on regular machines, see what happens there before I install them on here or something like that. So we'll see what happens. Okay. So now we're going to go to check the shortcut keys. So we're here and we just start typing shortcut. And you see here you got this keyboard settings, application shortcuts. Notice the word application. Again, it's not all the shortcuts out there. In fact, down here in the Windows Manager, you have other shortcuts for the Windows workspaces. Yeah, there's two spots that you can use work shortcuts in. Here we go. Let's take a look at this keyboard. Application shortcuts. All applications that they want. Now, the one bad thing about the shortcut menu on here, or the shortcuts you have on here, is that you can only put one shortcut in for each item. Like on Linux Mint, you notice you had 3 spots you can put a shortcut in for each item. So I can just put Super W here and Control Shift T here, and I didn't have to erase these to do it. And it automatically brings my web browser, wherever my default web browser was. I bring that up automatically, as well as my default mail reader. So what you have to do if you want to keep that as defaults, you'd have to enter in your browser choice and stick it in there. So like you enter in Brave browser, we don't have it on here, but let's assume we do. Then you'd have to go down here, add. You put in the command. It's all it is, just a command. So you put in I think user in Brave bin or something like that. Anyway, whatever it is, you can use this to go find hunt for it if you wanted to. So I have it on here. I'm not worried about this. I'm just probably gonna need this off since I get it done with it anyway. So you click OK. And I see that it says now press none of the keyboard keys you want to trigger the command. Okay, so we're going to use that for Super W. And the user brand brave bin Super W. If I press Super W, of course nothing will happen because Brave is installed on here. And this probably isn't the right exact command for it anyway. So let's delete this off. Remove. Okay, that's gone. Let's have one that is on here, okay? That'd be LibreOffice Writer. And we're going to push Control-Shift-W. And there it is, LibreOffice Writer. After press Control-Shift-W again, brings up LibreOffice just like that. Doink. Pretty quick for first run of LibreOffice, huh? Yeah. So yeah, that's how that works. And you have your Windows keys now. As I recall, on the Windows shortcuts and workspace shortcuts, it's kind of like Linux Mint is in that that they don't have keyboard. They have some of them that have the shortcuts get to them, but they don't seem to work very well, or don't work at all, or something like that. Just like here, go down to here. Here's your child full screen. Okay, move window to workspace 2 or 3. Of course, this is workspace within the virtual machine. If we wanted to move this window to workspace 2, you hit Control Alt 2. If it works or not. Nope. No indication it's moved anything, so that's what happened on the other computer. These didn't seem to work that well. The Windows ones, I even set some myself, and after setting them, they didn't do nothing. I don't know if these are work or not. There's something else that needs to be done. So that's where you find them at least. Also themes, you know, style here. There's themes for Window Manager. And so that's where you find that kind of thing. And it takes back so you click on it, I think. See, Window Manager, Windows border changed on me. Do that. So it turns everything turns blue. I kind of like that actually myself pretty much, so I'd leave it there if it was me, but I'm not you, so you do what you want to do. And also, you notice it has some extra icon up here. Basically, yeah, it's a shade, I think is what it's called. Like pulling a shade down, like that. I don't know what, I guess maybe there's certain uses for it I could have, but I'll probably just pull that off. So I would go down here, all you have to do is go down here and pull this down here. It goes in this hidden folder down here. Suddenly it's gone up here. Paper Standard 3 buttons here. So that's how that works in the Window Manager. Change the themes in the Window Manager that way, like Yeah, I noticed in XFCE that everything seems to be spread out over the whole thing. There's no, and when you type in themes on here, I don't really get anything other than the Cocky Theme Manager. I really don't know if that just is if it barbecue digital color theme. Well, let's find out what happens when we click one. Oh, it gives that Cocky, okay. Yeah, so this isn't a theming of your system, it's just a theme of Cocky's things. Different Cocky layouts they give over here on the right. It's the one we're using. Talon Blue MX, Talon Blue Roboto. Interesting. There's a widgets there. There's widgets. Themes. And this Tron theme. Change your background and all this kind of stuff. Kinda cool. And change your clock to this over here. Okay, so we'll leave it there for now. Yeah, so it looks like you can get other themes and filter themes, that kind of thing. Preview list. Different options here for your Cocky. That's not the themes for the whole thing. I mean, this obviously changed the whole theme of the whole thing. Background and this Cocky theme here. I guess the themes actually change more than just the Cocky because you wallpaper and other things. So, but you can, I think, install different wallpapers. Take a look at that real quick. Desktop settings. And that too. Wallpapers for Tron. So let's go over to our list. We'll show put it in here. Okay, so we got MSX Linux, MX Linux with XFCE4 on it, and we gave it the website navigation 7, and that's basically because of the little bit of difficulty in figuring out what to do at the beginning. Go to one page, you have to look through it and figure out where to go, and you finally get down to the bottom and say, oh, here they are. You click download buttons, that kind of thing. You have several clicks before you get to the spot where you need to download files. That's a problem in some places because, yeah, you get a lot of clicks. If you get that one page, you don't see or notice the download button, download current ISO, or you want the KDE version, you got to go down to that list. It's a little bit overwhelming for a new user, I would think, most cases. So it doesn't get a lot of points for being user friendly in that regard. But otherwise, it's a decent website. If you sit there and stare long enough, you can figure out where to go. You have to stare for a while though, where you know what's up, what you're doing. So we got that, and then we gave it an 8 on the ease of installation. I think it's because of the archaic keyboard thing is going to confuse some new users, I think. They see they go, well, is that what I need, or do I need to get something different, or what? So you click on there, and you say, oh, American English, yeah, that's what I got. Okay, yeah, okay. 101 keyboard, 105 keyboard. Keyboard is what I was talking about when it says PC 105. Okay. So, guided tour, gave it 8, it's decent. Not as good as the Linux Mint, but decent. And installed programs, it gets a 10 on that. Had everything it needed to get working right out of the box. For availability, it gets 10 on that. It's the first one I've given a 10 to. Because it's easy to install pretty much anything. If you install Adobe Reader, you install, it's gonna get a 10 out of the box if it installs that. Printer, I gave it a 10 originally, so I'm gonna give this one a 10. Placement. Because it's really, I know it's done that to me before, where it just printer's there, and you go to look for your printer, and you install it on the actual computer. Something about VirtualBox is like printer setups on VirtualBox. And let's see. Okay, keyboard shortcut setup, I gave it a 6. It's not as good because it spreads out over two, and then a lot of the window manager windows don't seem to work. Not sure why that is. Themes wallpaper, I gave it an 8. It's got wallpapers, and if you just go to the desktop right off the bat, see other wallpapers there that you have available. I only didn't see them because I clicked on the Tron that time and it changed it apparently. It's got some decent wallpapers in there, but it's just not very much, and it's spread out, so it's not easy to figure out where you're going with that, unless you have to go to the right place first time, of course. And it's easy. Yeah, you gotta hunt around for that a little bit. So then you have to, I gave it a 9 for updating. It was alright updater, but it looks for most people be a little bit archaic because it pops the terminal up. I mean, for me, that's a positive. It pops the terminal up. You can see what it's doing in the background. But a new user Windows, I freak out seeing that and they go, what's going on? I don't know. Help, help, help. So, you don't want those new poor noobs freaking out, do you? No, no, no. And we also gave it a 10 on the program and activating because it seemed to work pretty well for that purpose too. So it came out with 86 score, which is better than Elementary OS Pantheon, but not quite as good as Linux Mint, so which is now up 95. So that's where we're at today now. I think we're gonna do Manjaro next. Also, you noticed I got Peppermint coming up, and Pop! OS, and Ubuntu GNOME, and also I've noticed a review on a Neptune OS that I liked, and I thought I'd throw in. Even though it's not really billed as a new user distro, it seems like it might be pretty new user friendly, so to speak. So we'll see how it works. But yeah, I've got that as the last one of my series. And also, I think I'm going to do one on the Windows, like Lindows, I think is what it's called, Maluka Lindows. Watch that too. And I think that's all I've got listed currently that I'm going to be working on next time. So let's go check out the chat a bit before we take off here. Okay, so we've looked at the system, and it looks pretty nice overall, especially if you see my computer over here. Yeah, I'm not sure it's easier to move the webcam or easier to move the computer screen or monitor, one of the two or three or four. But yeah, I've got a nice seascape of waves cascading around over there. And I kind of have been impressed by MX Linux pretty much. I've installed it before, but this time I noticed a few things. I thought, wow, works pretty cool out of the box. It's almost like Linux Mint in that regard. A lot of stuff just seems to work. So I think it's probably a pretty good distro. Actually, all these are good distros. I'm not saying them are bad distros, but for new users coming out of Windows, especially grandma or somebody like that, you want to just set something from them that they can get on the web browser or check their email or do a word processor, that kind of thing. For somebody that just wants to do that kind of stuff, that's the kind of person we're looking for. What can graphically be done out of the box without a bunch of installing a bunch of stuff, things like that. And I think if you get past the install on this Mix Linux, which isn't too bad of an install actually, but there's a couple of spots there where people will be scratching their head. What does this mean? What am I supposed to do here? So yeah, I think there's a reason why it's #1 downloaded distro we'll watch right now. It's a popular distro, obviously, but everybody cycles around. So right now, MX Linux's turn in the spotlight, I guess. And I'm probably really interested in Neptune. I'll tell you why real quick. Because Neptune is the name of a comic I drew, which I've old Lost in Space clone type thing called Neptune 2. They call theirs Jupiter 2, I think. Jupiter, that's Jupiter 2. And I call mine Neptune 2. Really weird. But anyway, yeah, so I have this comic that I drew on it and all that kind of stuff. Matter of fact, I probably have it over in my bookcase over there. And I have always had an affinity for Neptune. So when I saw the Neptune OS, I went, ooh, really? Neptune? So I wanted to check that one out for sure. And I'm hoping I'll really like it. But I may install that over here on this computer and place MX when I get there. We'll see what happens. But until then, till next time, you want to hit subscribe, go down here, subscribe, and like and the notification bell. I'd appreciate it. And thank you very much for watching this video. And I'll see you next time. Until then, may the Linux Force be with you. Bye.